Hello, Bellogan here, continuing our playthrough to level 99. We're getting down the home road stretch now after that long grind to level 90. We've got some new things unlocked to us now at this point. Now today is a Monday, so the Black Commissary and Borgen shop is gone. We've got the Red Commissary back. I had some people comment and say, hey, maybe you should pick up some gear in there. Let's take a quick look at this. Most of these defense items are quite a bit higher than what I already have. 45 to 81 for the Scholars. It looks like it's got an extra 20 points put on its base defense. And those would certainly bump my defense quite a bit. They're about 150 AC each. So I have enough I could buy a piece if I wanted to. I'm going to hold off on that. My general recommendation on this gear is don't buy it unless you need to. In a couple cases where you might potentially want to, once we get to level 99, at some point we're going to probably want to put together either a fighter or a thief red set to help with farming up drachma to get to later planets. I don't know that I'm going to need that right now, so I'm going to hold off on this and we'll come back and revisit it a little bit later. Now level 90, we do have the option to get the ship now to the Black War. And we always like to say this is where things really take off. But let's look at that realistically. I've talked to some players that got there and realized that even at level 90, the way they'd been farming, they just didn't have enough defense to be able to battle the monsters that are there. So the tier 1 monsters in the Black War have between 1500 and 2000 attack. And let me just get my lucky day here. Ooh, mission for a Titan right off the bat. Tier 4 Titan, I'm gonna bet this guy would walk all over me, so we're gonna avoid him at the moment. If I look at my gear though, just to see where we are at, I have 4,835 defense. So what that tells me is my tier 1 and my tier 2 monsters I can probably battle no problem. If I'm sitting about 2,000 defense or lower than that, I'm gonna really struggle. And then I'd need to increase my gear. Now all of my pieces of equipment right now are between 106 and 130 defense. So, picking up anything from there could really boost me quite a bit. Another thing I could do is work on getting the full clan set. So I could go just farm kills really fast on the moon or Earth or something like that, where you're killing them in one hit to finish out your clan set. And the clan set itself gives a decent bonus. It's going to get you, I want to say, around 8,000 power and about 6,000 defense, roughly. So that alone can be a pretty good boost, even from where I'm at right now, but I'm not going to take the time to do that for this playthrough. So let's just test it out. Let me see if I can find a tier 1. Here we go, here's a tier 1 Titan. He's just about ready to die. We'll go ahead and kill him. A 1.5 million crit hit and an avenge. That was pretty juicy. So a tier 1, we'll say a Landon Phalanx, I'm going to come fight this guy. Notice per hit I'm getting about 23,000 per hit off a tier 1 mob, which isn't bad. We'll kill him off, see his info. So the Landon Phalanx had an attack of 1650. So I could handle a tier 2 of him no problem. This Landon Scion probably is going to be hitting me, maybe he won't, as hard. So here I'm getting, okay, so this guy's only hitting me for 1 still, even with the tier 3, and I'm getting 26,000. So that's pretty good. I've had some people say in the Dark Arena they're able to consistently get 30 to 50k per hit. If you can do that, congratulations. You're doing better than I was when I was looking. Granted, you are going to be missing out on a lot of the drops that you get from Titans and from chests because they just don't spawn there. So usually the Scions, the Goblins, the Alkalites are a little bit weaker. If you find Captains and Wizards and Knights, they tend to be a little bit stronger. So here's a tier 2 Captain. Let's see if we can take him. Yeah, he's going to hit us a little bit harder. So here I'm getting 40k per hit. He's hitting me for about 100. So regular hits, we'll probably do all right on. And not be in too much trouble. So here I'm just kind of testing out, saying, do I need to upgrade any of my equipment or not? It looks like we're in pretty good shape. So generally the way these planets go is if you assume same card levels or no card levels, each planet up from Mercury to Black War and then to the Underworld and then eventually Mount Olympus give you about double per hit in the rewards. Is kind of the way that works. Here's a tier 2 Knight. Now when we're doing speed runs, and I'll show you how this works in just a moment here. what we'll typically do is pair up sets of boosters to get a lot of experience really, really fast. And then we'll go and do with our weapons, and I'm going to do this just for 500 attacks because I have enough for it. So we're going to grab our Kratos loadout, and we want experience for everything else. And then on my boosters, what we're going to use is a Berserk charm, which causes every enemy you fight to go enraged. So I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to use my balance booster. That gives a buff to many of my attacks. I'm not going to worry about the attack boosters for this, or the defense boosters. We'll save those for later on. Drachma boosters, sure, why not? We'll grab a 2 for 500 attacks. We'll grab all these 1s for 50 attacks. And sure, let's use one of our booster 3s. Ghost Cloaks, I'm gonna buy one more Ghost Cloak because I've only got 4 and I want 5 to match up with my attacks. An LP booster, sure, why not? It's not gonna hurt us. Crits, I'm not worried about those. XPs, I'm gonna pop all these. So we're at the point in the game now where experience is only gonna matter for a little bit longer. Once we get to level 99, your experience doesn't matter a whole lot until quite a bit later in the game. Once you hit the point where, and I'm gonna use all these experience boosters, where I've got my final endgame gear that I wanna get to God tier, then experience starts to matter again. Your hero experience going into your equipment to level it up becomes a big deal. Typically, you're going to be farming the toughest monster on Mount Olympus, Zeus or Shadow of Zeus, to level up those pieces of gear. But prior to that, all the hero experience I'm building up, it still is there. You can use that to help your gear later on, but it's really pretty minimal. It's not going to make a big dent. So at this point in the game, don't hesitate to use your experience boosters to help get to 99. They're just as useful as anything else. We come back to the Acropolis, and I am going to buy 1 Ghost Cloak. Now typically I'd recommend just go hunting chests and open up to find these boosters. I'm just doing this for the sake of this video and just to get a even number here. So 33 AC for 1. Don't activate them just yet, so 225. So I still have enough to get a piece of red gear if I want. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for a tier 5 mob of, see, there's a knight, he's not bad. I'd like to get a captain or a wizard if I can. Let's see, I'm not seeing any here. But what happens is we end up getting them enraged with the Berserk charms. And then with our Ghost Cloaks, we don't get hit. So we can just put in all 500 attacks without risk of getting hurt at all. Centurions, I might go back for that knight. So you can see a really good example doing this in my sub 1 hour run video. I found like a tier 4, tier 5 monster, and a little over 1,000 attacks is all it took to go from level 9 to 99. It took about 10 minutes. Yeah, there's a tier 4 knight. We had a tier 5 knight in that other area. That might be what I go for. Oh, here we go. Captain, my captain. So we're gonna come hit him. Now notice he hit me for 1,000. I need to come in here and put on my Ghost Cloaks. I should have done that prior. And we're gonna use our special just to get his shields down. And then we're gonna come in with our primary attacks. And here I'm getting 340,000 per attack. So that's a pretty good clip. I'm gonna get 500 attacks in this way before my Ghost Cloaks run out. So 10 attacks at this rate is 3 million, 100 attacks is 30 million. This should get me a couple levels on this one monster alone. Now after this, I've got more Berserk charms. I don't have more Ghost Cloaks. So I could maybe still use the Berserk charms on like the tier 1 monsters. I think I can tank those guys, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna use this guy out until I'm completely out of Ghost Cloaks. And after that, we would go back to hunting for chests and save the AC. The reasons you want to save your AC is because you're going to need it later on for your endgame gear. You know, at a minimum, you want to get the Thunderbolt of Zeus, which is 6,000 or 8,000. I can't remember exactly how much, and it may come on sale. You're going to want to get the Crazy Tapper bike for transposing, which is about 10k AC. The Linus helmet is about 1,000 AC. You're going to want to get it. And most of your other gear you're going to want to buy, I would say Slayer gear. from hero shops, they're going to be about 350 per piece. So you're really going to need to save that AC doing your dailies and everything else, and not waste too much up front on other endeavors that you're ultimately going to be replacing after a while. So I'm just looking at in the URL, I have a counter up here. It tells me how many attacks I have. It kind of gives me an idea. If I saw how many it was when I started, I'd know how long I've got to go before I die. I didn't really look at that though, so I'm going to be as surprised as everybody else when the Ghost Cloak wears off and we get killed probably in one hit from this guy. He was hitting for 1,000 normally, so it's going to be quite a bit more than that when he's hits me with an enraged hit afterwards. That's all right. We're just going to keep welling on him and keep getting this experience in as much as we can milk out of these boosters. Oh, we have an event perk today, 282% drachma. That's because we hit our daily community goal yesterday. That means after you get 500 attacks in, everybody gets some boosters for a booster for the day. I imagine we got to be getting pretty low on this at this point. I'm thinking we can't have a whole lot of attacks left before we get killed. But we are just about to level 92, so that's 2 levels already. We'll have knocked out. Another way you can try to get Ghost Cloaks is if you have bounties that give them as rewards. I looked at today's bounties. There's a couple red memories in there that will probably be worth doing the bounties for. So when this wears off, I may go do a couple bounties, and there we go. So let's just see how overall we did on that. If I come back here, look down at my daily stats, we're to 156K experience. To put that in perspective, 2 billion is your total to get to level 99. If I look at my daily stats, so yesterday we did 300,000, 282,000 the day before that. You know, and those were my heavy grinding days, 4.5 hours of play, and we did this in about 10 minutes. So even with those worn off now, even just with my other boosters on, should see a pretty big difference. Yeah, I'm getting like 40K on this Landum Scion, and that's with, I don't want to Kratos anymore. Get back my payback. So I prefer the kills, again, because I like the item drops. I like increasing card levels. And it's less boring. Maybe not as quick and as optimized, but it's less boring. All right, so from this point, we could go try to search for more, take a T2 captain, maybe a little bit. 75K hit, that's still pretty good. So we could go search for more Ghost Cloaks and try to kind of finish things out quickly with the Ghost Cloaks and Berserk Charms. Certainly a viable strategy to do that. But even without that, you can see once you have enough defense to start fighting these mobs, you can get significantly more experience. So at this point, in this playthrough, I think I might go buy that one red commissary piece just to boost my defense a little bit. That may enable me to fight a little bit higher tier mobs. So let's try that. We're gonna grab not the clan shop. Let's see. Red commissary. I'm gonna grab that scholar class item, 81 defense. This is the highest defense boost I had that's got a scholar set. This probably wouldn't be worth doing if I had the full clan set because you are going to be breaking your bonus for having all the same set. But in this case, let's see what it does for my power. I'm at 48 defense, 64 power, 59 defense. So that was almost 1,000 more defense. And so that's pretty good. So now I should probably be able to fight. I might even be able to fight some of these T3 or T4 mobs. Yeah, here we go. T4 Landon Scion. 63K or 60K a hit. I could probably even Kratos this guy if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep this up. So you can see this clip, the experience you're getting here is quite a bit more than we were getting anywhere on Mercury. And I'm a tier 3 captain. And there's a lot of Titans in the Black War as well. Every zone can have one. There's a couple roaming ones, and so if you're clearing out monsters, you can get them to respawn pretty quick. So here we go. I'm getting almost 100k per hit on this captain. So I think that was a pretty good upgrade. 150 AC. Yeah, that was going to be, you know, a fair amount of farming and daily missions to get that. I really wouldn't recommend buying all that gear. In this case, I think one piece helped out. And then I'll talk about some scenarios later on after we get to 99 where you may want to come back to that shot, but we'll add a couple strategies from there as well. All right, the rest of this video is pretty much just repeating this process all the way to level 99. And it is still a bit of a grind. I don't think it's nearly as long, and it certainly isn't as boring as that level 75 grind to 90, where Mercury is kind of your best option. We've got all kinds of things we can do on the Black War as far as if you've got items to do that Berserk Charm Ghost Cloak combo. You've got a lot of Titans to farm for. You still get pretty good drops here with chests that pop up, and you can always hop around from other planets and do Titan farming there as well. The biggest challenge with that is you typically are going to one-shot kill them with your special weapon on the lower Titans now when you're going anywhere below probably Saturn. But the Titans that show up on Phobos and Mercury, you can still usually get a couple good hits in for that experience, whereas the Titans here in the Black War are going to take a lot of shots from you, and so you can get some pretty good experience from those. All right, with that, we're going to drop off and this video kind of showing where to get set up and what to do to be successful in the Black War. Again, if your defense is low, you're just going to have to work on getting memories and increasing that using some of the methods I showed before with using boosters to increase your power level before you decode, or picking up clan gear, or perhaps something from the Red Commissary to get to the point where you can farm here. Clan gear alone, if you go that route, is perfectly fine, and using the clan march, you're probably not going to use those for much else afterwards unless you want to go with the yellow clan set. We'll talk about it. Which is a possibility. It's decent, but it's limited in its use. So with that, we'll sign off, and then the next couple of videos, we'll just work on grinding our way to level 99 and see how long that takes. Thanks for watching.